Good morning, noon, or evening, whatever the case might be for you. My name is Amy Lumley, and welcome to Physical Science. What we're going to do in this quick video is we are just going to talk about what the class entails, what you can expect from the class, a little bit about how it's graded, things that you need, all of those good need to know things before you get started. Well, one of the first things is, well, how do I get a hold of you if I need you? Well, how do you get a hold of me? My office is on campus. It's in room 202B in the Arts and Science building. I'm actually located inside the chemistry lab. However, sometimes it's not always easy to catch me there. In summer, I'm not going to be on campus very much. I also have my office phone there, but again, during summer and during the mornings of regular semesters, I'm not in my office. I'm in the classroom, or during summer, let's be honest, I'm at home. So the easiest way to get a hold of me is by emailing me. So amyl@coffeyville.edu, or I think it's lumley.amy@coffeyville.edu. Just use the Amy L. It's a little bit simpler. It goes to the same mailbox, so no worries. Now, if you do need to schedule a time for me, I am more than happy to schedule a time. We can meet on Zoom. We can try to meet on campus. Whatever works out best for you, I will try to accommodate you as best I can. So let's see what's next. Things that you need. So you do need the textbook, and I made the mistake. I don't have the textbook over here. Now, what I have set up with the bookstore is just to have an e-textbook. The ebook is actually really cool. You can highlight in there. There's flashcards that you can make or that are already pre-made with the textbook. It's pretty awesome. You can write your own notes. You can highlight things. It'll actually take you back to the last place you were at. You can go back and just view your notes. Explore that ebook because it does have a lot of great features. Now, to go along with the ebook, this semester I chose to use something called WebAssign. This is going to be some online homework. So it'll be things that I expect you to use the book for, to be able to work through problems. Sometimes they have what are called workbooks, which is it's a great big problem. Some of the problems are super simple. It'll be like a single multiple choice question. Some of them are going to be a little bit longer. They're going to be layered to where they're going to lead you through like on how to count significant figures or something like that. So they take a little bit more time, but I think that they are a great way for you to work on that. So that's a little bit about WebAssign. We'll come back to that one a little bit later. You also need to have a calculator. I highly encourage you to have a calculator that has a 10 to the X button. When we get to chemistry, we use it some. If you move on in chemistry, you will definitely need it. And I always say to bring it to class and learn how to use. A lot of times in class, students like to use their cell phones, which I completely understand. But I'm not going to let you use a cell phone on the test. You need to have an actual calculator. And each calculator, it has its own unique way of plugging in whatever operation it is that you're trying to do. So you really need to have that calculator and get used to using it. Calculators are extremely useful, but sometimes the programming, believe it or not, can be a little bit, we'll say, temperamental. Now, the last thing I have is patience and perseverance. So this class is an overview of a bunch of different areas. You may have had a lot more learning in any of the particular areas. So it might seem like it's going a little slow, or maybe it's like, well, I already know all this stuff. This is your chance to learn it better because you know what? The learning is kind of like an onion, what they talk about in Shrek, where there's different layers, or in whatever area you're looking at, there's a lot of different layers. And so we're either peeling back that knowledge or adding the layers, however you want to think of it. But there's so much more that you can learn. There's so many more ways that you can refine that knowledge. Maybe I'm going to offer a slightly different viewpoint than what you've thought before. Now, there's also those where we're going to get to a subject that you don't really care for. I'll let you in on a secret. A lot of people don't like the first one or two subjects we cover. And I understand that. But what we're trying to do is give you a good basis of all the physical sciences. So if you don't care for an area, don't fret. We won't be on it that long. And then we will move on to the next subject. So hang with it and you'll be fine. So I had mentioned that we're going to cover all the different physical sciences. So here they are. We're going to start with physics. Physics probably has the most math. So if you're not a mathy person, we really don't get that in depth with math, but there will be some problems to work out. I have a very algebraic mind. That's just the way my mind thinks. But I will try to explain things in multiple ways to help you understand. But I will show you some problems and how we would set them up. So physics is the most fundamental. It's not my favorite, but I have learned to appreciate it over the years. Now, the next section that we have is related to physics. We're going to talk about waves, we're going to talk about electricity, and we're going to talk a little bit about nuclear chemistry. Nuclear chemistry gets to be kind of fun. So these are some like side related things. They're just going to be kind of randomly put in there. Next, we cover chemistry. So chemistry is one of my favorite areas because I'm a chemistry teacher. We will talk a little bit about elements and bonding and reactions. So just some of your basic chemistry ideas. We may get a little bit into organic chemistry, which is sometimes a new area. That nuclear chemistry that we talk about in that second unit, that's kind of fun. That's a little different usually. And then we get into the earth and space sciences. So a lot of times they'll actually take and they'll divide it out differently. You'll see that in one of the first lectures. What we've done here, or what your textbook tends to do, is we're going to cover astronomy, which is looking at the universe and the solar system and the galaxies and all sorts of cool things. And then we have a section on earth science. So this is going to talk about atmospheric science. Sometimes they'll pull that out separately where you start looking at the meteorology. And then so I think I have a question coming up where these aren't the 5 that we're going to be talking about, but these are the 5 units that you're going to be covering. So earth science, again, that's plate tectonics, volcanoes, earthquakes, a little bit about geology. So some different areas like that. Again, if there's any one area that you really don't like, don't worry. We're just kind of skimming the surface. And what we do is, in case there's one that you do end up really enjoying, now you know what other classes that you can take when you go to the next level. Now, here's the meat and potatoes. This is the part that you're probably actually watching this for. How is this class going to be set up? Number one, your book is a great resource. We talked earlier about how you can highlight and you can take notes in this ebook, and it's amazing what all you can do. Be sure to explore that. I'm going to lecture fairly close to the book. So I'm going to use the book as the basis for what I'm going to teach. Now, I'll add some stuff to it because I love to tell stories, but the book is what I'm starting with. I'm going to try to get up some video lectures for you. I am not guaranteeing that you will have one for every chapter or every section of every chapter, but I'm going to try my best. I changed books, and so that means that I need to redo almost all of my lectures because I want them to be what you need for this class. There will be that WebAssign homework. So you've got to go to the WebAssign. You have to start out, you're going to go through Moodle and you click a little button. It'll take you to WebAssign. You can purchase that in the bookstore or you can actually purchase it directly on the website. That's going to give you just the homework portions. I plan to have a chapter quiz on the terms. So this is going to be a really quick, it's usually like just a matching thing where you get to go back and just familiarize yourself with the terms. That quiz you can take as many times as you want. I think you have to wait 15 minutes between attempts. Not worth a whole lot of points, but they're really easy points. We're just looking at matching up terms. We'll also have a chapter test. Now, the chapter test is the part that's going to look at concepts. Now, sometimes students don't care for my test because I'm not asking for regurgitation. I'm not going to usually ask you something that's straight off of the notes, word for word. It's that I want you to understand what we were talking about and be able to apply what we were talking about. So that's the chapter test. Now, after every couple of chapters, we're also going to have a unit test where I go back and I try to highlight some of those important areas. Now, what I normally do, chapter test, you can use your textbook. The unit test, you can use one piece of paper, front and back, write whatever you want on it. I find that by making that, we'll call it a cheat sheet, you actually study the material better, trying to figure out how to summarize it. So yeah, we'll try. We'll see how that goes. You'll also have some labs because this is a lab class. These labs are designed to be able to do from home or like there's one where you're going to calculate power, so you're going to run upstairs. So if you don't have stairs, maybe you'll need to go to some place that has stairs that you can run up. I try to find things that are going to be fairly accessible for you to do. You may have to have some household items. There's one lab where we make aluminum boats, so we need aluminum foil. But I'll try to make sure there's stuff that's fairly accessible, or if you can't get it, let me know and I'll see what I can do, or if we can make any substitutions for you. So those are some of the labs. I'm going to try to do at least one lab per chapter. We will have some other assignments. I might have you watch a video and give a reflection. Maybe I'll have you like do a worksheet and turn in your work so I can see how you're working through problems. Maybe I'll have you, I don't know, explore a website, or I don't know. We'll see what all we can come up with this semester. Now, this is the other kind of big area. This is the first time I'm adding the frequently asked questions, so you let me know if you would have any other questions for me that I could add to this, or if you found these helpful. So the first thing, how much time should I expect to spend in class or on the class? That's a difficult question. This is a 5 credit hour course. You should not expect to be able to log in the evening stuff is due and be able to do it all that evening. That's really not how the class is designed. It's not a just fill out the things and turn it in and you're done. I'm, hoping you're going to try to learn some of this stuff. And the best way to learn is by repeated exposure. Think of it this way. If you were taking the class face to face during regular semester, you are butt in the seat in my classroom 6 hours a week. Yeah, 6 hours a week. That's not any outside time to study. And you're supposed to study 2 to 3 hours for every hour you're in class. Now, does that actually happen? No, I know that much doesn't actually happen. But you are expected to study outside, but you're not butt in seat in front of me. So, you have to figure out how much time that's going to look for you. So again, regular semester, 6 hours a week. And then I've taught it live version, face-to-face version in the summer. That's 4 hours a day that you're sitting in front of me. Again, not including any outside study time. So if it's, that's 20 hours a week. That's kind of scary to think about. So face-to-face during the summer is 20 hours per week of just class time plus study time. Regular semester is 6 hours face time plus your study time, 8 weeks. So that's going to be looking at about 12 hours face-to-face and then your outside study time. So you're not going to get everything done in an hour or two. You need to, it's a very hectic schedule, but welcome to college. The next is how to best study. Again, don't wait till last minute. This is going to kind of go along with the, but I do or did poorly on test type things. Some students don't care for my test. Some students have difficulty studying for my test. What I've tried to do is, especially with the video lectures, I try to emphasize different areas that I feel are important. And if I repeat things many, many times, you can just about guarantee it's going to be on the test. Again, it's going to be an application of that. It's not going to be word for word what's on your notes. If you only write down, fill in the little blanks of the notes, you're not going to do really great in my class. You need to try to apply it, be able to use that information in a larger scope. As you're going through, try to figure out the important areas of the text. Try to think about the types of questions I might ask. That's a good way. I will post some study review guides just to help guide you. Not everything that's on there is on the test, and not everything on the test is guaranteed to be on there, but it's a great starting point. Now, if you are one that doesn't do well on test, or if you find that you don't do well on my test, not all is lost. I still have lots of points. That's why I do the terms quiz. That's why I have the homework. That's why I have the labs. When you add all those points up together, it allows you to maybe not do as well as you want on the tests themselves. So the whole grade, the entire semester, is not based only on tests. We have points coming in from all sorts of different directions. And finally, how are labs done? Again, they are designed for you to be able to do at home with easily accessible items. Now, it doesn't mean you're necessarily guaranteed to have everything in your house, but you should be able to get a hold of things. And if you make substitutions, I'm fine with that. Let me know what substitutions you made, so maybe that way I can help other students make those substitutions. So, do you have any other frequently asked questions? Anything else for me? If not, or if so, send me an email. If not, good luck, and I will see you in chapter 1.